was the haircuts that you were doing for barber school, was it for free? Or it was $5, you said?
It was there $5, but I don't want to say that people were complaining about it, because it's like, that's the whole purpose of you going to the barber school. You're getting and a lot of times people weren't even paying the $5. It's in a rough part of town. You know, no one in that area. Not saying that there is no money, but there's a lot of people that don't have the money to go and just spend, you know, $15 back then for a full haircut. So they would go to the barber school, and it benefited us because we needed to learn how to do it. So it was like one of those things, like, you knew what you signed up for going into a barber school. You literally were risking that you were going to either go in there and have this student that it was their very first day, their first time even picking up a pair of clippers. You were that first person that they learned how to turn the clipper on. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you knew what you were signing up for. Or there's a lot of students that will go to barber school and they've been cutting hair for 10, 15, 20 years, but then they're like, now I need to be legal. Now I need to get my barber license or whatever. Or they've been always cutting at different barber shops under the table type stuff, because there's, you know, as crazy it is, that's what happens. A lot of people cut hair without their license, and the barber board is only a certain amount of people. It's hard to keep up with thousands of barbers, you know, so it's like, it's real easy for barbers to slip under the radar. But yeah, you know, you're taking the risk of someone learning how to turn the clipper with you, or someone that's a veteran at cutting hair and a phenomenal barber. When you go into barber school, I want to open up my own barber shop. I want to open up my own barber shop. I want to have 2 barbershops, 3 barbershops. I want to have a franchise of barbershops. And I'll admit, that was a goal of mine probably before I left barber school. So I'm like, I want to own my own barbershop, you know, this and that. And it just kind of seemed like that's what you do. That's what barbers do, is you go to barber school and you open a barbershop. Well, it's not like that. Even after being a licensed barber for so many years, I was like, I want to open up my own barbershop. But then I started maturing in my skill and in myself and everything, and realized, like, it's a pain in the butt. I don't want to be anyone's boss. I don't want to tell these adults how to work. I have very high standards for my work, for myself. I do know that having a barbershop, you have to understand, or a storefront with multiple barbers, you have to understand that some of these barbers are just there for the quick money. Because barbering, it can be quick money. It can be very quick money and good money. But there's only going to be very few that care enough about your establishment as you do. Very few. The high standards that I keep for myself keeps me in line and in check, to where, yeah, I don't want to have a barbershop. I don't want that. Because my standards, I'm going to be upset because so-and-so and so-and-so's standards aren't as high as mine. So how is that going to make me look when I'm just like not happy with another adult because they're doing their job the best they can, or to their knowledge that it's the best that they're doing, and here I am like, why aren't you doing anything like how I'm doing it or whatever? You know, that's not fair. That's not fair for them. It's not fair for me. But then you got those other barbers that they are very good, but they're like picking and choosing the clients they want to cut hair. You know, they want to take their breaks longer than they should or whatever. Now it's like the shop is, you're losing money because they're just like, I don't feel like cutting their hair because they're, you know, I don't like what they're wearing, or I don't like their cologne. They come in and they stink, or just whatever, you know what I mean? So it's like a lot of hassle in that. They don't want to clean up the areas. Like, you have this immaculate barber shop, but this one barber is just dirty. never sweeps around their area, lets everyone else sweep around their stuff. Their counter space is just unorganized and so much trash. It's like the person that just had their haircut is gonna leave a review saying, "Oh, I got an okay haircut, but his workstation was filthy. He or she didn't really talk to me, or just whatever, just a bad review." And whose review does it go on? It goes on to the establishment's review. Doesn't go to that barber. And it's like reviews, especially today, are big. Whether they're good reviews or bad reviews, they're huge. It will impact so many, especially small businesses. If you get 200 reviews and 60 of them are terrible, people are going to be, you're going to still get some traffic in there. They're going to be like, "Oh, all the rest of these reviews are amazing, but these 60 are bad." It's like 1,000 people seen those 60 and they're like, "Nope, move along." You gained 100 other clients, but 1,000 people just went past because of those 60 terrible reviews. And it had nothing to do with the person that actually owns it and busts his butt or her butt, because the barbers don't hold their standards high enough. So that's why I got out of wanting that own my own barbershop thing. My goal now is, and it's because I hear so many clients complain about the barbers that they've had, or all the experience that they've had at shops or with other barbers or stuff like that. I hold my standards so high that you got your haircut today, you come back and see me again 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 7 months from now, a year goes by, it is going to be the exact same consistent haircut that you got the first time you came to see me. Or it'll be your 100th haircut and it's going to be the exact same thing. It's going to be, and it's not just the haircut, it is the walking in here. It is the presence that I make sure that I always have. Not only in the music that I have playing here, it's always pretty much the same music for the most part. And my favorite music is Hawaiian style reggae. And that right there that's my comfort. I feel good listening to that stuff. If people have not listened to that, you have to listen to it, because it is very, very, very difficult to stay mad. If you're in an upset mood or whatever, yeah, it's a momentarily thing, but sometimes we just need that moment not to feel a certain way to make us feel better. If you're mad and you come in here and you listen to my music like that, maybe up until 5 minutes before you're about to leave, you're upset, but once you leave, you're in a way better mood. Not just because of the music, but just my whole environment that I do. I'm consistent in my music. I'm consistent in my mediocre haircuts. I am consistent. Most importantly, my personality is consistent.